Hi there, it's Sarah here from BJC Health, coming to you from Sydney, Australia. Thanks for showing an interest in one of our educational events. You're about to watch part one, so enjoy the event. If you've got any questions about the content, then please consider joining BJC Connect, where you can access all of our facilitators live. Otherwise, please consider leaving a comment and we'll do our best to get back to you.
Thanks, Sarah. I'll get straight into it. These tips are in no order. And like Sarah said, some of them are things that you've probably heard before, or someone has told you that it would be good to do for your mental health or your health in general. But hopefully it can be also just a good reminder and a refresher for things that we can improve on or we can integrate more in our life. Okay, so the first one, I guess, is something that I think we can all continue doing throughout our whole life, and that's around educating ourselves and getting to know ourselves more. And this includes things like being aware of our own warning signs and triggers and vulnerabilities. So this includes things that we know that affect us in a negative way or would have a negative effect on our mental health. And these could be things like certain emotions or memories, things to do with relationships, family, work. But it could also just be noticing a change in your behaviors. So noticing that maybe you become more irritable, more stressed, maybe you become more forgetful, or could be that you stop doing things that you usually do, such as walking the dog or cleaning the house. So it's good to educate and be aware of your own stuff. And we're all individual and we all have our own stuff that affects us. So that's a good starting point when we look at our mental and emotional well-being, is being aware of your own triggers, warning signs, and things that do affect you. It might sound obvious, but I've worked with a lot of clients where you spend a lot of time helping them be aware and getting to know themselves and why they do what they do. So once you can build some education and learn more about yourself, it gives you a greater understanding, and it helps you in the future and prevent things from getting worse or potentially causing further mental health problems. It can also normalize our experience. So what I mean by that is, a lot of the time when we think of mental health, we think it's something that might be serious, or sometimes people will think, oh, I must be crazy or I'm going insane. But sometimes it's actually quite normal. And anxiety is an example of that. I know, we've spoken about that in previous talks around anxiety and normalizing it. But when you educate yourself or if you talk to others about it, it actually can help you then think about, well, maybe that I'm not going insane, or maybe it's, other people are going through this too. And it's actually a normal human experience to go through this. And when you normalize it, it can actually just make yourself feel a bit better about it and a bit more proactive about, okay, what can I do about this then? And part of also this, as I mentioned before, is talking to others and learning from others' experiences too, and also talking to professionals. So it could be a doctor or a psychologist, where they explain these processes to you. So once you have a really good understanding of these things, it can just help you then have a greater awareness of your own mental health and your own stuff. Okay, second one, again, it might seem obvious, or, this is probably the most widely known thing that can help improve mood and improve everything to do with our health, is moving the body and exercise. I guess the reason why I didn't call this one purely exercise is because it doesn't have to be exercise to help with your mental health. It's about movement in general. So moving the body and not just kind of keeping all the energy stagnant or stationary or sedentary. So when you're moving the body, it actually helps regulate your emotions, your mood, and helps things like sleep. It helps regulate your nervous system. It also gives you energy. So when we're doing all this, it actually can build a bit of momentum and can help stabilize our mood over time. And it doesn't have to be strenuous activity or activities that require a lot of energy. It could simply just be doing a short walk, or could be, if you're having a really tough day or really, stressful week, it could be little things like cleaning the house, vacuuming, doing some stretches, doing some star jumps, whatever it is. It's just simply moving the body. When we don't move the body, or when we are sedentary, or when we are in that sort of stagnant, stuck sort of feeling, that's when our mood can then become quite low. We become quite flat. We can feel quite lethargic. And when we feel lethargic, that can lead to things like depression and a lot of negative thoughts, a lot of worrying thoughts. And we start to, our world sort of shrinks in a way. So that we start to feel quite isolated too. So moving the body, has a lot of physical effects. And those physical effects then just help our mental health as well. So this one, again, it sounds, quite obvious and something that gets talked about a lot. But it's something that we could, it's good to remind ourselves to continue doing, even on days where, we don't feel like doing it. Again, it can just be small things. I know for myself, exercise is really important to me, but there are some days where I really don't feel like it, or I'm just really tired. But I know that if I move my body, and even if it's just for half an hour, I know that will make me feel better. It can't make me feel worse. Okay, so the third one, I guess, is more around our relationships with other people, and our relationships with uh, places and groups and things that we can connect to. So it's called connect and reconnect. So having a sense of connection in our life can help us feel a sense of belonging, and feels like we can then bring something to the world. When we feel alone or isolated, it can trigger this mechanism in our brain that detects these sort of, warning signals that something's not right and it's actually a threat to my survival. So humans are social beings. We're meant to connect and bond. And if we don't have that, our brain actually, our brain doesn't like that. Our brain thinks it's a threat to our survival. When you think of when we were hunters and gatherers, and when we were, cavemen and women, we were in a group, we were in a tribe, and that was to help us stay alive. So whilst our world has become a lot more evolved and complex, and we have a lot more resources to survive, we still have that natural instinct in us to connect and to be in this world with other things and people. So a big part of this is having a support network. So having people around you and with you that are supportive. And that is different for everyone. So for some people, it could be, a partner, family, his friend, but it's beyond just your sort of close personal supports. It's other supports as well. So this includes other groups that you're a part of that you might be engaged with during the week and that you spend time with. And you then have a conversation with them at the cafe afterwards. And that is a positive experience. And for you, that's actually part of your support network, is having those experiences in your week. It's also having people that you can reach out to if you are struggling. So it's normal that we're all going to have times where we do struggle, or that we are unsure of something, or we doubt ourselves, or we need someone else to just give us a hand. And it's important that we have the right people for that. So you might know people in your life or have heard of people where they might know a lot of people, but they might not necessarily find all these people supportive. So it's important that you have the right people in your life that you can reach out to. This includes, in a crisis or an emergency, but also just day-to-day things. If you need to vent or debrief about something that you're going through, it's all those sort of things that we can reach out to people for. It's also about reconnecting. So sometimes when we get stuck, or we feel sometimes maybe we are struggling with our purpose or goals, or or could just be maybe our physical health, is we're struggling with that, or a certain illness. Um, Sometimes it's actually about reconnecting with parts of ourselves that we haven't been engaged with for a long time. And this could include things like, old hobbies that we may have done years ago. And we always said, oh, like I should, pick that up again, or maybe I should try that again, if you really enjoy it. Or it could be friends that maybe you've been out of touch with for a while, and you've been planning to reconnect with them for a while. So whilst connection and having that support network is important, sometimes it's also about reconnecting with things in our past that we know are good for us. When we are connecting or reconnecting, it also helps us learn more about other people. And it can also provide different perspectives on our experiences. And that's how we also learn, because our perspective is not always going to be, or we don't always have the facts. We don't always have the ultimate truth. We only have one perspective. Um, Sometimes as well, our emotions can influence our perspective and how we see things. So when we're connected to other people, and we've got good supports in place, they can offer different perspectives that we may have not have thought about. And then we can go away and then think about it and go, oh, okay, maybe I need to do this differently. It's good to kind of think about, in your own life, and reflect on this, and think about times where you may have struggled, and think about a time where you've reached out to someone, or you've engaged in an activity, and think about how you felt afterwards and why you found that to be supportive in your life. I just give you guys 10, 20 seconds just to think about one of those experiences and to think about how that felt. Okay. And now I would like you to also think about a time where you maybe were struggling, or you felt alone, and you were wishing, or you were hoping that you could talk to someone, and maybe you struggled to reach out, or someone wasn't available at the time, and just noticing how that felt for you. Okay, so hopefully you're able to kind of distinguish the difference between the two, and recognize, the importance of having support in our life. and feeling connected. Okay, number 4. So again, I think we touched on this previously in other talks, but I just want to highlight the importance of, focusing on what's in our control and letting go of what isn't in our control. So this one is one of the harder ones to practice, but the benefits of this is, it plays a massive role in how we cope in life and how we tolerate problems and manage stress, which all play a role in our mental health. So what it is looking at focusing on, what's in your control right now, right here, and what is in your reality that you can, control. Versus when things are not in your control, it's about accepting and tolerating. So these are things that are, the unknown, or things that are uncertain, things that maybe you don't like, or maybe it's other people's actions or decisions, where it's maybe caused a reaction in you, but there's nothing you can actually do about that. All you can control in that moment is how you respond and how you cope with that. And we all go through things in our life where there are so many problems and experiences that we wish we could fix or that we can get rid of, but we can't. And this is something that is just a life skill that we have to keep working through, and being aware of it when it happens. Sometimes we just have this natural urge that we want to fix things or change people, because we think if we do that, then I'll feel better. Sometimes that just makes us feel worse, more stressed, more tired. It can actually cloud our perspective even more. And then again, it can have a negative effect on our mental health and well-being. So focusing on what's in your control can help you just step away from that. And also by doing this, it gives you more confidence in yourself that, okay, well, I can cope with this. There is something I can do about it. It's not all, out of my control. I can do little things right now to make this situation more manageable, or more positive for me. And what this does over time is that it increases resilience. And resilience is about your capacity and your confidence in yourself to cope with difficult situations in life. And like I said, we all go through this and it's unavoidable. There are some times where we can fix a problem, or we can, change something to make it better for us. And if so, that's great. But sometimes we can't do that. It's out of our control. So once we're able to practice, strategies and, regulate how we feel, and, it could be things like just walking away. It could be, accessing your support network. It could be doing some exercise or distracting yourself. All these sort of things helps build your resilience. So in the future, when things like this happen again, there's that memory up here that says, okay, well, I've gone through this before. Yeah, it's hard. It's not pleasant, but I can get through this and I'll be able to overcome this. And the more you do that, the more confident you get. The more confident you get in yourself, the problems become more manageable, and you're able to, the distress or the feelings that you're experiencing won't last as long. And then it has a better effect on your mental health, improves your mood. You're able to focus on other things. You don't feel maybe as tired or as drained. You're able to move on from it. So this one is a big one, and it's one of the harder ones. But it's something that we all have to face in life. Okay, number 5 is having something to look forward to. So again, this one, you might have heard of this before, or you might already know how this could be beneficial. And it doesn't have to be big things. It doesn't have to be a big holiday or a big life event. It could be little things or small goals or activities that you can plan, that you can strive towards. And what this does is that it increases our motivation. It gives us energy, and it gives us almost a sense of accomplishment that we're working towards something. We've got something to look forward to. So it helps us, I guess, be more future focused rather than maybe sometimes we get stuck in the past, or we dwell on things. Or sometimes if we don't have things to look forward to, we feel just stuck. We don't know what we're doing. We don't know what direction to take. We feel like we're just, running on the treadmill and it's just never ending. So having something to look forward to gives us a bit more certainty and has something to strive towards. It's almost like there's an end point or an end goal. So yeah, it increases your mood. It makes the present or what you're going through currently a bit more tolerable. So an example of this was, if you're, let's say you've got something planned for the weekend. It could be a party or a family event, or maybe it's a show that you booked a long time ago and you're really looking forward to it. And let's say you're having a really bad day, or you receive some bad news during the week, or you're just feeling really down. You can think about that activity or event that you've got on the weekend and go, okay, right now I'm not feeling great, but I know that on the weekend I've got this on, and that's going to make me feel better. And I'm working towards that activity, and I can look forward to it. So it gives you the opportunity to, again, cope with current problems, knowing that you've got something to look forward to in the future. It also allows for, having a break or distraction from what you're going through. So sometimes it's okay to visualize or imagine the future, or when you're going through that experience in the future. But sometimes it's okay to, just take a minute just to close your eyes and imagine what it's like to be in the future, experiencing what you're looking forward to. So, an obvious one could be, a holiday. So if you got a holiday booked, let's say you're going to Fiji in a few months, and you can just visualize and close your eyes what it'd be like to be on the beach right now, feeling the warm sun on your skin, hearing the ocean, maybe eating some, really interesting food, being with other people, being out in nature. So visualizing and imagining that can help, again, make the present feel a bit more tolerable, and a bit more pleasant, I guess, to get through.
So you've just finished watching part 1 of one of our recent educational events. Hope you enjoyed the content. If you'd like to access part 2, then you need to sign up for BJC Connect. It's a free platform where you can access not just the recordings of past events, but also access a whole range of upcoming future events and access our team of facilitators live. All of the details that you need to join BJC Connect are now flashing up on your screen. But otherwise, like our staff, subscribe if you'd like to see more information from BJC Health. Look forward to seeing you in an event soon.